In 2020, as all of us, I was going through a lot of changes. I had quit a job that I had been a part of for 11 years, and a man that I was in love with broke up with me after we had been dating for a couple years. And I felt lost. I had begun this journey of searching inward. I began a journey of painting. It became a hobby. And in 2020, it was an outlet for me. After we broke up, I started painting. And I remember one day waking up, and after I exercised, I just had this flood of emotion pour through me. And I just started crying immediately, and I had this vision of these 6 different paintings. And each of them had a special meaning. And I knew that God had given me this vision to paint and to learn to let go of this relationship, to learn to let go of my mom and dad's passing. My mom passed away in 2013 and my dad passed away in 2018. And I knew that this was God's vision for me to paint. So I started painting. And 70 hours of painting, I finished these. About halfway through it, I was working on the one that you can see here. It says Grief. It's titled Grief. I'll tell you what, that was the hardest painting I've ever had to paint in my whole life. Even if the painting, because I would take a break, so those 70 hours that I talked about, they weren't consecutive. It took about a couple weeks, 2-3 weeks to complete them all, but my heart poured into these. And about halfway through, I started working on this one called Grief, and it's the one that had the tombstones there, and it talks about my mom, and it represents my mother and father's death and family members who were around me at the time. And that was such a powerful painting that even when I had it sitting on the table, I had to turn it over because it just invoked so much power. And that was when I processed all this grief. And these words just came out. And it was then that I knew that I had something transformational. It was then that I knew that God had given me a gift, that these 6 paintings was the birth of expression healing and the birth of my business, My Courageous Masterpiece, helping you find courage to create your masterpiece after heartache and loss.